This spotlight is all about exit planning. Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial, and this segment's brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done and published to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. Joining me on this segment is Jason Tuzinkewich with Blue Sky Business Resources. Jason, welcome to the program.
It's great to be here.
Jason, tell us a little bit about your work and specifically who are the types of clients that you help?
So, Mark, I work with my team and I work with business owners in the lower middle market. That means business owners with EBITDA in the 2 to 50 million range. We are a full life cycle investment bank and business advisory firm. So we help business owners raise capital, work through those inflection points of growth, and then we can also facilitate M&A transactions, whether that's acquiring companies to grow or making your ultimate exit.
So the business owners that you work with, do they put much thought into exit planning, or what is like the preconceived notion that they have in their mind when it comes to the transition?
When we first meet business owners, typically they don't have any thoughts. Statistically, about 90% of all business owners have not considered an exit plan at all. When I meet business owners, they're a little bit more forward thinking, but they don't have much of a plan. They're confused of what their options even are. So, I'm always excited when I can meet them when they have a little bit of runway so we can do the work of positioning them well.
So since they don't really know what they don't know, can you give us like a 10,000 foot view of what they should be considering as they go, through and plan their transitions? What should they be working on?
So there are a couple key things that I see in almost every business. One is the business owner is too operational. If client relationships or major technical elements of the business are controlled only by that owner, it's going to be very hard for them to exit. And when they do exit, they're going to lose value. They're going to have deferred cash. They'll get paid out over a course of years instead of right at closing, and they'll have to stick around longer after the sales. So that's one of the biggest ones. Another one that's really important that people don't think of enough is when you're a business owner, you're working a lot. A lot of your life is spent inside the operation. That means when you exit, you've got all of a sudden a whole bunch of free time. And if you don't have a lot of good hobbies and plans for what you want to do with your life after being a business owner, it can be really depressing and hard for business owners to make that transition.
So what's it like working with an exit planning advisor? Can you kind of give us a 10,000 foot view of the experience and what it's like working together?
Yeah, absolutely. The first thing that we always do is create a team. We'll get all of the advisors as well as the family members into a room and figure out what are your expertise, what are your specialties, are you the right advisors to support whatever the owner wants for their exit. And then we start to understand what does a perfect exit look like for that owner and their family, their employees, the business itself. And so the very first portion is a lot of information gathering and team forming. And then from there we kind of divide and conquer. We take all of the tasks that go into building an exitable business, and we start to divide out. There's talking to your financial planner, a lawyer that can set up trusts and end of life planning, as well as the family to start talking about what are your financial needs and what does life after ownership look like. Then you'll get the group that is, a exit planning advisor like myself, the accountant and the legal team to start looking at what are the tax ramifications of an exit and how do we start to mitigate those? What are the risks with the business itself? And what do we have to work on inside the business to make it exit ready? And we'll just kind of break up into these different subgroups and attack the entire process in a task by task basis.
Jason, what inspired you to get into this field and help business owners with their exit plans? How did you get started?
I launched and exited two businesses of my own, and I did a terrible job. I I just left so much on the table, and when I realized after exiting my second business, I started trying to educate myself on M&A. And when I realized how much I left on the table, I'm like, there has to be a better way. And knowing what it feels like to be on the other side of the table gave me a lot of empathy. And I'm like, I can form a team. We can go out and we can really help these people. And we also want to make a fundamental change in the M&A environment, because right now, by and large, M&A advisors are very transactionally focused. They want to get a deal and sell it as quickly as possible. That's where their money's made. We want to take a much longer approach and only sell businesses when they're ready, largely because, again, that's where we come from.
Before I ask you my last question, in regards to exit planning, is there anything that I didn't think to ask you that you feel is important to share with business owners today?
You know, for me, the most important thing is you've got to start. There's this fear of your own mortality that I think keeps a lot of business owners from thinking about retirement, from thinking about exiting, and from asking these hard questions. Business owners are typically very much experts in their field. And when you're an expert in your field, you don't like to go where you're uncomfortable or where you may be ignorant. But as soon as you cross that fear threshold and you start asking the questions, that's when you can start working towards, the best possible outcome. So my advice is always just today is the right day to start thinking about these things.
For business owners listening today that would like to speak with you, how can they, find you, connect with you, and learn more?
Well, the easiest way is to go to our website, www.blueskyadvisors.net. In the contact us page, there's a link right to my calendar. You can get on there and schedule a time that works for you, and we can have a quick Zoom or a phone call. I'm on LinkedIn. Those would be the two easiest ways.
Terrific. Jason, this has been great. I really appreciate you taking the time to share with my audience today, and I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Hey, thanks so much, Mark. This was fun.
That was Jason Tuzinkewich with Blue Sky Business Resources, and this segment's brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done and published to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.